This video presentation analyzes the impact of social media on the businesses using the concepts based on the findings from our literature reviews.
In this case, we can see that everything started without the business involvement or activity. Users triggered the discussion without their knowledge. We can notice how social media and networks and social capital have helped unknown individuals with different geographical locations to cooperate and create a powerful network enough to impact the business decision and continue with the Emirates deal or not. They were all unknown individuals with the same objective of avoiding the mail company to stop funding terrorism as they expressed in the media.
United Breaks Guitars is a video song by the singer Dave Carols. He is referring to his negative experience with United Airlines. Shortly after release of this song, it hit millions of views on YouTube and reactions from online users. It had impact on US stock price, which fell by 10%, and on the overall brand reputation.
This case study is about the promotion of the tourism in Canberra. It is a campaign that was started by Australian Capital Tourism Act, and the authorities announced to pay the first 500 people a free trip to Canberra. The purpose of this is to definitely improve the image of the city Canberra as a tourism destination. Verk 2011 described network as an establishment of near unlimited numbers of links between groups or individuals. A network provides social support for the members through multiple channels. Network has been recognized as a powerful tool for a long time. It is especially important for business people and professionals, as the more people you know and have connections with give you a greater access to facilitating and sharing of information. Social capital can be applied to the business. Companies can create social capital through social media and build loyal online community. In the Canberra case, the social capital was not explained properly in the literature review. But now it is clear that social capital can be applied because the 500 people who win the free holiday have to develop a social capital with the Act Tourist Authority, who will have to gain access to the online customer's account.
Social media networks support the exchange of information and knowledge between different networks, individual groups, and organizations, also customers and consumers, across vast distance within a blink of an eye, overcoming demographic, cultural, and social boundaries. Moreover, these platforms lower the barriers of social interactions, becoming a powerful medium to create a large group of individuals. Social networks are created through interpersonal ties, weak and strong ties. Your strong ties, your friends and families, and your weak ties, your acquaintances, which you don't hold further bond with, or could also be a stranger. Or as Granberg would define, weak ties are those individuals with whom we do not create an emotional bonding or have occasional contact with. Since close friends know one another, they form a closely knit clique. These individuals are then connected to other cliques through their weak rather than their strong tie, which is called the strength of weak ties and forming a network. Mark Granberg argues that information and knowledge almost always travels more effectively through weak ties. Bird expresses is that what matters the most is in the quality of the tie rather than the variety of the network the tie is bridged with through the weak ties. Internet and social media has become a main source of information. On social media, weak ties can be linked through many simple activities such as liking the same picture, commenting, or any other. In business relations, consumers function as subjects who become engaged with an object through interactions. Objects are in this case organization, product, or service. So sharing a content, but also share interest and experience, can become crucial motive for connections in online networks. Weak ties are more easily reachable, and they are no longer only in the circles of friends and their friends, but also connected through content. Users' influence. Users are able to influence others and firms through social media. Everyone is able to generate content. The following concept will explain more on this.
User-generated content is when users spread messages through social media platforms. They post positive or negative statement about a product or a company which is accessible globally, and companies do not have an influence on what information are posted. The term going viral means that the content spreads quickly over the internet like an infectious disease, which encourages users to pass it on to other users, creating a growth in the message's visibility and effect. The networks in the case studies were created thanks to weak ties connections which were linked by sharing of the content that was interesting to the users. The moment before something is viral is identified by Gladwell as a tipping point. It tips because something has happened, some change occurred. Gladwell claims those incidents are driven by the efforts of a handful of exceptional people. The characteristics of a tipping point and viral events in regards to the online content are identified as it appears dramatically, spreads quickly, and lasts for a short time period. The tipping point has happened in all three cases. Multiple actor engagement is the different motivation of users to get involved into the conversation and spread the content. There are identified three key engagement dimensions: emotional, cognitive, and behavioral engagement. I did not explain emotional engagement well in my review. For instance, emotional can be joining the conversation that relates to the consumer's feelings about the content, such as having the same experience, either positive or negative. In general, consumers enjoy sharing the activities. The user-generated content and information are also crucial in understanding how social media both create and are created by patterns of behavior. The notion of multiple actors increases as they are getting involved through ties based on their motives. The actors can be creators, contributors, or consumers. The content was spread by multiple actors over time in all three cases. The incident was also small at the beginning and has grown bigger, like an epidemic, through networks that were created by weak ties.
Platforms have empowered and changed how, when, and where consumers communicate with each other and firms. Also, how customers and consumers experience a brand and share information that can influence others. The power in organizations and activists has been balanced, shifted, or level, and is no longer entirely dependent on the ordinary mediums. They have the potential to significantly affect business, social, and political networks, changing our society, and are making a global impact on how organizations interact within their market. Here in the cases, we can see how harmful can be to a company to ignore completely the user's demand or to attend quickly and mitigate the negatives. In two of the cases, the company had to additionally invest in its reputation and online communications to minimize the negative impact.